A deal on Dickens, who could resist? A stack of Austen, warmly kissed. Golden Age crime tales twist and turn, every page a treasure to learn. Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea, reading always feels so free.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I have done 2 different book haul videos so far, just from book haul material gathered over a period of time. And this particular book haul video will be focused on classics and classic-related books, so classic adjacent. So starting off with classics, this is, it came up for a low price on, I think it was eBay, and I picked up one for my mom and one for me. I don't know what happened to my copy that I read in school, but I remember really enjoying this book. I read it before I watched the movie, and this is Lilies of the Field. So at some point during unknown amount of time, my mom and I will read Lilies of the Field together. Maybe that might be a good palate cleanser after we read Mansfield Park together, because we're starting that next week, and that's, thick book, so we might need something a little bit smaller and, less challenging after that. So Lilies of the Field, great movie. I remember really enjoying the book as well, but I haven't read it for many years. Then I also have, and I've never read either anything by this author nor this particular book. Well, obviously I've never read anything by the author. I haven't read the particular book, but I actually didn't know that this was a book. That's what I want to say. So the book is The African Queen. My familiarity comes from the Humphrey Bogart, Katharine Hepburn movie. Got one for myself, got one for my mom so we could read it together. Disappointingly, the cover I liked had better print for her eyes, and she's disappointed that the cover she liked had its print a little too small for her eyes. So she actually wanted the movie cover. I liked the cover better for hers, which was not the movie cover. But, I guess I can handle having Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn on my book. But, yes, from what I understand, it's not exactly the same as the movie, which makes sense. Also, they were kind of notorious for changing, movie, like the book to movie. Like, sometimes they would change things quite significantly back then. I know for Lilies of the Field, they combined 2 characters. But that was probably the most egregious one for Lilies of the Field. But I've known that other movies have done worse than that. I don't know how significantly African Queen has been changed. And this is by C.S. Forrester. So I'm interested in seeing. It's been a long time since I've watched that movie too. So I'll be going into it fairly fresh. Because it's actually not even my favorite Humphrey Bogart or Katharine Hepburn movie. So it's not like I'm super attached to what I saw on the screen. I think I must have borrowed this on Kindle at some point, and I rated it, but I don't really remember much about it. This is by John Mullen, and What Matters in Jane Austen. This came up in a Dr. Octavia Cox video that I was rewatching. And the topic she discussed, oh, here it is. I accidentally just turned to the page. Chapter 9, Which Important Characters Never Speak in the Novels. And she discussed one of the characters that was important in Persuasion, but that never speaks. And when she mentioned it, there was a part in the book that discussed this. I was like, oh, I need to read that book. And I was surprised to see that I had rated it, even though I have no recollection of reading it. So I was like, okay, I need to actually, maybe I need a physical form of this book to read, because apparently it didn't sink in the last time I read it. Sometimes if something doesn't sink in on Kindle, I just need to get the physical and write on it. So I look forward to eventually, what's in there? What goodie? I thought it's probably just a receipt. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a receipt. I thought maybe I was getting something nice in there. This is someone else's receipts because I definitely didn't buy these other books. Because, yeah. Someone bought a book on Napoleon III when they bought this. Huh. They got it from... Was this in France? Yeah, they bought this in France, it looks like. Or they at least they put the receipt here. No, they bought it in France. Okay, so Shakespeare & Co., 37 Rue de la Boucherie, 75005 Paris, Tele, and there's a telephone and the fax. Serre, don't know what that means. I probably said it with the Spanish accent. Then is a ticket number. And vente, whatever that means. Prix, I guess that's price. Merci pour votre achat. Oh, Mom can actually speak and read French and all that, but look at that. Okay, I was gonna throw it away because it was someone's receipt, but now I'm keeping it because that's kind of cool. So they picked up this book in France. Thankfully, it is in English for me. But, yeah, that's kind of cool. So at the same time, they picked up Dear Luke, We Need to Talk. Don't know anything about that book. Bad Faith, The Story of Family A, and I'm sure that means and something else. And then Paris Reborn, Napoleon III. And then they have this, What Matters in Jane Austen. Just an interesting choice of books to buy in France. Shakespeare and Company. Huh. That's kind of cool. I need to remember to show that to my mom. But yeah, the whole reason I got this book was a chapter I accidentally opened to right away, which is Chapter 9, which important characters never speak in the novels. Because that was like, remind me of like, okay, even though I read this book, I remember nothing about it. Need to reread. And I got a little goodie with that, this French receipt. Okay. Then, continuing on with classic and classic adjacent. Well, okay, this one's not a classic. It just slid in here somehow. Okay, this is Art Lover's Guide to Paris and Murder, Diane Freeman. It's the next book in that series I need to read. I forgot to mention in a different video because it's not supposed to be in my classic books. But here it is. And she has one more coming out in the series. She had a Kindle like novella just recently come out, but I don't think you can get this, her novella, in physical form. So I'm going to have to look it up and see if it's on Libby yet. So I'll be able to read this one, and then when her other one comes out, I'll get that one too. Because it's thus far, I know I have all her books so far. This one actually got introduced to me on BookTube. So, one of the few modern, actually I think it might be the only modern day series that I keep up with that's not a Timothy Zahn series. I just tend to read classics instead. But I enjoy this one. Then I have Through the Magic Door by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is just him rhapsodizing about reading. This is Jack London and His Times by, I didn't realize it's by Joan London. I don't know if that's a daughter or wife. It has a bit of old book smell. I don't know what I expected Jack London to look like, but that's not what I expected him to look like. It says it's 1939, so that's at least the copyright. I don't know when this was printed. And I have somebody's name written on the inside cover. It's actually in pretty decent shape. I mean, I had to be careful with it, but it's in pretty good shape. It has a little bit of water damage, it looks like, but it's held up. I just had to be careful at the seams. I love the feel of the cover. And it's Doubleday Doran. Yeah, I didn't pick up on who the author was. I'm interested in seeing if it's how Joan is related to him, or like I said, if it's his wife. So yeah, this was kind of a whim purchase. I saw that it was at a low price. I have always grown up with Jack London's books around the house. My mom loves Jack London. I grew up reading Call of the Wild, White Fang, which I don't remember nearly as much as Call of the Wild. I remember To Build a Fire, a couple of the other short stories. I've never been as big into Jack London as Mom has been. Mom's always been, but I do have an Oxford World's Classics on Jack London, which I do plan to read and get to experience him as an adult, because I haven't read him for many years. I don't think I've read him as an adult at all. So I need to not look at him as a kid, and, you know, maybe I'll be able to appreciate him more. Okay, I can't remember whose fault this is, but it's someone on Historathon's fault, and I don't know who to blame. I want to say it's John David's fault, but I'm not sure. And that's, I always say his channel wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is Nicholas of Ottercourt. This is his channel name. This is Square Haunting 5 Writers in London Between the Wars. So those authors are Virginia Woolf, Dorothy L. Sayers, Eileen Power, Jane Ellen Harrison, and I'm not sure who HD is. Dorothy L. Sayers is the only one whose work that I've read of those selected here. Now, obviously, there were other female authors at that period, including Agatha Christie, but I guess all these women lived at the same address for a while, so that's what's connecting them. And I know, I always enjoy author biographies, look at authors' works, that kind of thing. So this interested me when I heard about it, and Thrift Books had it for a good price. So this one, I can't believe I haven't shown this yet. I've had it for a while, but I've been due for a book haul video for a while. So this is Mysterium and Mystery, the clerical crime novel. I can't remember what... Oh, I remember. It was when I read... Or when I was about to read. I can't remember if I read it or if I was about to read it. It was regarding A Gentle Murderer, which is the book about a priest who has a murderer confess to him that he's committed a murder. But in the introduction to that book, this book is mentioned as going through like different clerics, detectives in mystery. So Father Brown's going to be in here. I'm sure. Yeah, there's Brother Cadfile. There's Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose, which I also have and I haven't read yet. Oh, Rabbi Small, which I think I have his whole series. My grandparents had asked me, oh, what do you want for either Christmas or my birthday? I was like, oh, I'll give them the series so then they can like have that for a while to go through. It's a great idea that, then they can just feed that series, and, they don't have to worry for a while about asking me what I need for a gift. They picked up the whole series at once. I guess they found it like at a library sale or something, and they found the whole series. So I got it all in one fell swoop, which was amazing, but it also foiled my master plan of giving them, make it a little bit easier for them to figure out gifts in the future, because I know I can be hard to shop for, just because I mostly want books, and I know my tastes in books aren't necessarily what might be considered normal by everybody. But yes, I do have the whole Rabbi Small series. I've only read the first one. I haven't gotten to the second one yet because I'm a bit intimidated by the text size. It's really small and the book is fairly thick for the text size. So I have to wait until I'm feeling a bit braver to tackle that text size. But I think those are the ones I have. I don't think I have read any of the other ones in here yet. So this will be interesting. So yes, Mysterium and Mystery, the clerical crime novel. Then I have my Walter Scott collection. This is, darn, I'm going to say her channel name wrong because it's late for me, early for everyone else, but Luminous Libro, I think is her channel name. She's a huge Walter Scott fan, apparently, and the first video or so that I watched of hers, she was just talking about how great Walter Scott is, and I recently picked up Ivanhoe, because I remembered liking Ivanhoe as a kid, but I'd only read the children's classic of Ivanhoe, the illustrated children's classic, and I really had wanted to revisit it, so I had picked it up, and this was a while, like, earlier in the year. Yeah, I think it was only early in the year. I don't think it was last year. But I picked up Ivanhoe, and I was hoping to read it at the end of this year. Whether or not that'll happen, I don't know, because Ivanhoe is pretty thick. But she mentioned a couple of other Sir Walter Scott books that sounded pretty good. So this one is The Heart of Midlothian. Now, this has a lot of the Scottish accent in it, like, and I guess it has some of the, so they actually have a glossary in the back because they have Scottish words, I guess, in here. So this will be an interesting read for me because I've not read books written in that dialect before, or where a significant number of characters are speaking that dialect. But the story sounded interesting. I don't want to really give away much, but it sounds like it's one sister trying to do what she can to help her other sister who has gotten herself into a bit of trouble. And I don't want to go into more detail. It sounded really good when Luminous Libro mentioned it. And I was like, man, I kind of would like to read that. And as per usual, I found a good price for it. Although it says thrift books on here, so I guess I picked it up there. Although I have been known to pick up thrift books on eBay as well. Then this other one, okay, I have no idea how I managed to find this for this good of a price. I had no idea what I didn't think it was a book that was this good quality. Okay, so this comes in a box, which I did not realize. And oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Waverly by Walter Scott. And this is a much better quality than I thought it was. Especially that since I usually buy cheap, so I must have gotten it cheap. Okay, special contents on this edition are copyright 1961, so this was at least printed 1961, although that wasn't when he wrote it. And I actually can't remember what this one is about. Oh, I have something in here. Okay, so this is this one of those Reader's Digest classics? I have two of theirs, and they're always very nice. Oh, I bet this is one of those because it has the insert in it. Okay, I have Rebecca that's that way. What's the other one I have that's that way? Oh, Beau Jest. Rebecca, I knew what I was getting. Beau Jest, I got surprised by. If this is another one of those, I got surprised by another one. If this is one of those Reader's Digest classics, they have beautiful classics, where they always come with an insert like this one. Like I said, I'm not sure that this is one of those or if it's just a similar type. But this talks about, issued monthly to the members of the Heritage Club. Yeah, I think this is Reader's Digest. It talks about Walter Scott, and then it talks about, I guess, his writing of this. It's a story of the 45. All right, in Scotland, the 45 is not a shooting iron. It is a date, the date of an uprising, whereby Charles Edward Louis Philip Casimir Stuart, otherwise Bonnie Prince Charlie, or the young Chevalier, or the young Pretender, distinguished him from his father, James III, the old Pretender, hoped to regain the English throne that his grandfather, James II, had occupied. Okay, and this was, trying to see when Walter Scott wrote this. I mean, he wrote this sometime in the 1800s. I'm just not sure when. Okay, the historical romance, the first 7 chapters of which had languished among the fish lines for 9 years, was published at the end of 1814 under the title of Waverley, or 'Tis 60 Years Since. The 1805 subtitle had been 'Tis 50 Years Since. And that explains why they started this little article with 'Tis 217 years since, which is kind of fun. But okay, yeah, that's cool. So I'm pretty sure this is one of those Reader's Digest classics, or the Reader's Digest based theirs off of this, because it has the artwork in it like those do. It has the insert. Yeah, if this isn't the same thing, it's pretty darn close as the one as my Rebecca and my Beau Jest. Except they didn't come in a box. I am incredibly lucky in getting these. That's amazing. It's like Beau Jest came as a surprise, and this one came as a surprise. I expected Rebecca, but those two, nice. And it's such a I feel so bad for these kind of books, because I live in a dark cave, because these lights belie my normal existence. Normally, I live in a dark room because that's how I feel most comfortable and the least overstimulated. So these books don't get to be seen by anyone but me. So it's really a shame for these books, but I still love a beautiful book. And I feel incredibly blessed to have gotten such a beautiful copy by accident. Now this one was on back order when I got it. When I ordered it. But this, oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Jane Austen's Bookshelf, a rare book collector's quest to find the women writers who shaped a legend. And this is by Rebecca Romney. And it goes through, just like it says on the title, the different authors who influenced Austen. So first of all, it talks about Austen herself. Then it talks about Frances Burney, and I read her, I think I read Evelina, which, it wasn't my favorite, but I did, I did read that. Anne Radcliffe, she mentions Anne Radcliffe multiple times throughout Northanger Abbey, so that's no shocker there. Charlotte Lennox, who I've not heard of, which obviously I'm going to have to read her stuff now. Hannah More, also not familiar with her. We'll have to read her. Charlotte Smith, we'll have to read her. Elizabeth Inchbald, another one I'll have to read. Hester Lynch Thrale, Piozzi, not heard of her either. Maria Edgeworth, I feel like I've heard of her, but I've never read her stuff. And then a conclusion. So this is just really cool, because again, it's right up my alley. It's going through the different, how a writer got to where they were, and it also gives me more writers to explore. So right up my alley. And I know I heard about this on someone else's channel, much to my misfortune. I can't remember whose channel it was. It might have been someone I'm not subscribed to. Every once in a while, I'll pick someone at random to watch to see if it's someone that I want to watch, you know, just because their video title strikes me or whatever. But, yeah. That's it for this video. Hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next time. God bless. Bye.
Books keep coming home with me. Piles so tall, they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.